Hey, I'm Michael with Thrive Fencing, and we've installed more than 1,000 fences, and we install fences year round. I'm going to share a few of the things that we consider when looking at installing a fence in the wintertime. First is the ground frost. Here in the Midwest, over time, when it's cold, the ground tends to freeze, and it freezes from the top going down. And typically, if there's just a little bit, we can get through that with a shovel. Now, if there's more, and in recent years, we've had as much as a couple feet. It could be more, and further north it goes more. But up to a couple feet, and how we navigate that is with our great post pounders. We have some ready driver, gas powered, as well as a hydraulic post pounder that we can use, and we will use either of those for steel fences, chain link, or even wood. We will pound posts in the ground for our wood fences, and we typically for any of those kind of fences we use a steel fencing. For vinyl fencing, we do use steel posts on the inside, but we typically don't install much vinyl in the winter, just because when it's cold, the vinyl is more brittle, so we do very limited vinyl fencing in the winter. For any of those fences, we use our post pounders when we're pounding line posts. For the gates, we still like to set those in concrete, and so we will use power blankets, which are awesome. They can heat the ground and thaw up to a foot of ground frost in 24 hours. One key with those is to use a concrete insulation blanket or some kind of insulation blanket over top of the power blanket when it's in use. If you have many utilities, that can take longer because we'll have to move the power blanket around to those different spots. And then if the ground has been thawed, we can put down an insulation blanket over top, and that will keep it from refreezing. What's kind of cool with those is when you pull the blanket back, we'll often see steam coming off, especially if it's cold out. And then when we dig the hole, we'll see steam coming out of the hole because the ground is warmer than air temp. It's pretty cool. For winter fences, we also need to consider what's the weather outside. Obviously, we want people to be safe driving to the job site. Is there snow that has to be removed from the yard? Sometimes we'll do that. If the weather is cold, typically if it gets much below 15 degrees, 10 degrees, our equipment doesn't want to work as well. If need be, we can put some of it in a truck to warm up for a little bit, but tools, equipment, fingers, they don't want to work when it gets too much colder than that. That said, we can have a sunny day, 20 degrees, and if there isn't much wind, we might just be in a ball cap and a sweatshirt. So as we're moving and we're active, we can stay pretty warm. Wind is really the nemesis that makes fencing installation kind of hard, miserable. So, and obviously we want nice straight fence lines, and so wind can make that more tricky. We have done fences in blowing snow. We prefer light, pretty snow if there's going to be any snow at all. Those are a couple of things. So ground frost, use of power equipment, use of power blankets, what's the weather and temperature. And I guess the overall thing to just be aware of is that the process is going to take longer. It takes longer to get ready in the morning, put on the gear, take off the gear, put the gloves on, take them off. We also don't have as much daylight, so the days aren't as long. And even the warmest part of the day, you might have a high temp of 40, but that might be at 1 p.m., and the rest of the day is a bit cooler. In some cases, if we have equipment issues or weather, it just typically takes longer. So where a job might take 2 days in the summer, maybe it takes 3, or maybe we have to set post 1 day, and we come back a few days later when the weather's more agreeable to finish. If you get a new pet, or you have kids, or you buy a house late in the year or early in the year, we can install fences. And here's one example where a homeowner had a 4-foot chain link fence. They got a dog from the Humane Society, and the dog jumped the fence and was running through the neighborhood. Obviously, not safe for the dog. And so he contacted us end of January. We started his fence after doing utility locates and planning it out, and then we finished it early February. So there were some days where it was about 30 for part of the day. We were able to install the fence, and then when it got down to 10 degrees, we weren't able to do much other than some finishing touches. But great example where we could help keep his dog safe and install the fence he needed even in January and February.